Oh. Not again. GM has issued another recall. Let's talk about it. Before we get really deep into this, let's go through the formalities. My name is Sho. This is ICNV Drivers Edition. This is an interactive car community, which means if you reach out to me on any one of my social media platforms with a question, comments, or even just some remarks based off the video, or even in the chat below, I would do my best to respond. And if the topic you bring up is interesting enough, I may even shoot a video on it. For those of you who follow the channel or seen the recent post I put out, there was a recall issue before, and that one was for the transmissions. I got a lot of feedback, information back, and I will say some pushback on that. I have another video coming addressing that topic and the information that came up with that. But right now, we're focusing on something totally different. Yes, as you saw in the headlines or the thumbnail before, there's another recall. And just, I want to say, a matter of weeks from the letters going out about the transmissions for the 2023 and 2024 C8 models that were affected. Now we're talking about 2024 and 2025 models that are affected by this recall. Let's dive into it. So according to the automaker, there are over 13,000 C8s that are affected by this recall, somewhere around 13,400 and some odd units. What has actually come up is the seatbelt retractors are malfunctioning. They're getting stuck, and this is technically considered a safety issue. Since the seatbelt retractors may get locked in the stowed position, I think that's the official statement they released, and that's not good, especially under certain conditions, which means since it's a safety issue, it is impossible per GM to wear the seatbelts correctly. I'll say that again. They said it's impossible to wear the seatbelts correctly. That way it eliminates the effectiveness of the unit, which means there is a safety possible issue if you put on the seatbelts or can't put the seatbelts on, and it leads you to a high risk of injury if the vehicle were to be involved in a crash. So what does this recall actually mean? This means they're actually going to replace the seatbelt retractors or the seatbelt units in the car. Doesn't seem that big, doesn't seem that bad, seems like something they should be able to knock out really quick, but it is not that simple. I'd like to take this moment to say thank you to all my military members and veterans, because we all know freedom isn't free, and because of you guys and the sacrifices that your families make, we get to enjoy this thing we call freedom, which we enjoy so much. So a big salute to all my military members, veterans, and family members who make the ultimate sacrifice. If you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the ICNV Driver Edition community. This is an interactive community, which means if you hit me up in the comments below or on any one of my social media platforms, I will do my best to respond back. And if the topic is interesting enough, I will make a video on it. So reach out, let's chat. But let's get back to this video. Let me just start by saying this. This new recall information has thrown me for a loop, and it really makes it hard to continuously defend the C8 as a reliable vehicle. And I say that again, it makes it hard to defend the C8 as a reliable vehicle. Do I believe it's reliable? Yes. Do I think it's one of the most best designed cars and probably, I don't know what to say, one of the best designed, engineered vehicles GM has ever made and put out? Yes. I'm starting to have second thoughts about this mass production thing, because I feel like the fact that they got 100,000 units out on the street has now compromised some of the build quality of certain parts they used to put this car out. If you think about it, no other production model, the C7, the C6, and so forth, has ever put out this many units as the C8, and they are still pumping them out. Now, don't get me wrong, the demand is there, and a lot of people in the market space want this car. There is still a lot of C8 desirable Corvette owners on the used market and the new market looking for this car. So GM wanting to keep up the production and produce the vehicle, I can completely understand, and they have every right to do so. But now we're starting to see more and more recall, safety concerns, and I would just say long-term production or quality concerns. Is it really worth what you're trading off? Because to me, it's kind of tainting the Corvette brand and the reliability, should I say quality, that has been bestowed along this vehicle through historical past. Okay, so what does this mean going forward? GM has instructed its dealers, meaning all Chevy dealers, to pause deliveries of any 2024 and 2025 units, whether they are brand new, used, or certified pre-owned vehicles. They cannot be delivered to customers. They are also stopping all their cars from being sold, which means car auctions. They are no longer allowing these vehicles to be traded dealer to dealer, and GM doesn't even want these cars to be used for demonstrations until repairs can be made to each unit. How this is actually going to affect the vehicles that are already out in the street and sitting at auctions and so forth, I don't really know. But they're looking to stop the sale of any used Corvette until this issue has been resolved. So it seems like they're taking the steps in the right direction to get these vehicles fixed as quick as possible and remove any possible defective cars from being placed in the hands of new owners without this being addressed. And they're also telling the old owners to contact their Chevy dealerships and to please refrain from driving their cars until they can get this resolved. But here's the problem. Per GM, General Motors doesn't currently have the required parts in stock to make all these repairs. When the parts do get sorted out, the automaker will task it to dealers. The initial recall notice does not contain any estimates related to when parts will be available, nor does it provide dealers with info on the expected length of the job. Owner notification letters are slated to be sent out July 22nd. GM has issued this notice on July 12th. And for any customers that have questions about this recall, they can contact Chevrolet customer service at 1-800-222-1020. Again, that's 1-800-222-1020. The automaker's internal code for this recall is Nancy 2424 41390. So if you're concerned about your vehicle being affected, please, you can contact them at that number and find out if your vehicle is part of this, which from my understanding, and maybe I'm completely wrong, maybe I'm not, it's supposed to be all 2024 Corvettes produced and 2025. But then again, if they say it's limited to 13,000 vehicles, I don't think it's affecting all Corvettes. So an estimate, I'm just trying to help get this information out. Do with it as you please. And remember that it's getting hard to justify the reliability and the quality of this Corvette. Every time you look up and you feel like you're at the end of this whole backlash about this car, you're not. I know there are going to be some Porsche owners that drop comments in here and keep putting out the Porsche may be a better vehicle, especially when it comes to reliability and quality. And I can't fight you on that no more. You may have a valid point, or at least until this recall gets taken care of and properly installed. But maybe it's a silver lining to this. Maybe there's a bright light. And the bright light is it's not a major malfunctioning part. Yeah, I can't even say that. At the end of the day, it's not a mechanical issue with the engine or transmission. It is a seatbelt, something that we feel or believe should be easily replaced, and we'll see how that actually plays out going further. But I do appreciate you all for stopping in and listening to this video. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, ICNV Drivers Edition, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the ICNV Drivers Edition community. We are an interactive community, which means if you reach out to me on any one of my social media platforms or in the comments below, I do my best to respond. And if the topic you bring up to me is interesting enough, I actually shoot videos on it. So you can help guide the focus of this channel. But as always, chase your dreams, build your visions. Remember, it is okay to be unique. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed. And I will see you in these streets. Another Corvette recall. When will it end? Peace.